So we're going to talk in this tutorial about the select tool, and that's this one here. It's probably the most basic tool that you'll ever use in Sketchup, but there are quite a lot of things that you need to know which will be really useful. So obviously the most simple use of the select tool is just to click once and to select an object, and I'm going to just zoom in here on this rectangle that I've made. If you click once, then I can select either the surface, or if I click again, I'll select this line. So you can select individual elements in your drawing. I can also double click, and if I double click, it will then select everything that's connected to the thing that I've initially clicked on. So for example, if I click on this surface, it'll select all the lines which are touching the surface. However, if I click on this line, it selects only the surface that's touching it. And I'm going to move over to this block. Now something similar happens if I double click on one surface. Every line which is touching that surface will also be selected. And what I can also do is triple click. 1, 2, 3 will select the whole thing. So those are the most simple selection options. One click selects one thing, double click selects everything that's connected to it, triple click selects the whole object. Now if I'm working with components, a single click will select the whole thing. Double clicking will take me inside the component so I can then edit it and make changes if I need to. Now if I want to select more than one thing, I hold down the Shift key. I've now just clicked on this one component. If I want to select another component, say this one here, I hold down Shift, and you see next to the cursor a plus minus sign appears. So I can select that one, and say that one individually. Now the reason there's a minus sign next to the cursor as well as the plus sign is that I can also deselect individual things that I've previously selected. Now there are other ways you can select too in SketchUp, and the other main way of doing that is by dragging a box. Now just for demonstration purposes, you can see that if I drag from left to right, there's actually a solid box that I draw. If I drag from right to left, I drag kind of a dotted box. Now there's a difference there. Okay, if I drag over here from left to right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select everything which is completely enclosed within that box. So anything, say for example, the part which is only half selected, kind of at the bottom of the rectangle, is not going to be selected. The difference is if I select now from right to left, anything that this box touches will actually be selected. You can see, even if I select and touch this little strut here, the tiniest amount, it'll select it. So there's a big difference. Say for example with this box, I select only that line if I drag from left to right. If I drag from right to left, I'll select other areas which were also touched by the box. It's actually useful here because I want to select all of these struts without selecting the parts at the bottom. I can get it down to the right angle and then drag from right to left, and now I have everything selected. Now if I want to select only certain ones of those struts, I can then hold down the Shift key and deselect certain ones which I don't want to edit. So SketchUp has lots of different ways to select things, and you'll find that when you get to more complicated models that they become more and more useful.